36, your 24-hour news service. This is News 36 Nightcast.
And later, some Austinites argue that sharks aren't mean, they're just misunderstood. There's lots more still ahead on Nightcast. Stay with us. Teddy bears are warm and cuddly. Sharks are mean and aggressive. Just two examples of the way human beings ascribe our own characteristics to other things and to animals.
But some Austin filmmakers think that's unfair. Sharks aren't mean, they say. They're just sharks. Out on the porch tonight, our Jim Swift tells us about Divine Spark Productions' award-winning documentary on sharks.
Deep Hunters is one of a series of films called The Sea Within. It was produced and photographed by a group of Austinites who live and work together in a co-op environment. The film's producer and chief photographer refers to himself as a sort of ringleader.
We decided the best thing would be if you could take people underwater and show them how beautiful it was. You know, if people could see the beauty, they would be less likely to want to trash it.
The photographer's strobe seems to arouse the shark's curiosity.
For this movie, Divine Spark Productions went to a spot 10 miles off the coast of Nassau in the Bahamas, where you used to be able to go watch a shark feeding, dressed only in a wetsuit. Now, divers are required to wear a chain mail armor when they dive there.
The problem is if you even have a small cut in the water, when the sharks are already in the feeding mode, you could really find yourself in trouble. So you have to be careful.
So there have been some serious injuries?
There have been some serious enough injuries that they've stopped doing it. When you go underwater, you go right into the food chain, and it's very obvious to you that you are a menu item.
Hardly a comforting thought.
Go there.
Yet, for Greg Whiteley, the irony is, in becoming part of the food chain, humans once again find themselves in the natural order. A relatively peaceful place to be.
You're much more neurologically designed from 40,000 years of evolution to being underwater with sharks than you are to driving down Mopac with trucks all around. That's a relatively new experience neurologically, so that's producing types of stress that you don't have a lot of experience dealing with. But these other things, we have a vast history of dealing with predators and those kind of things, so it kind of puts you into something that you used to do. When I go out and study the natural world, it makes me feel closer to a creator. It like gives me faith in a creator when you see the complex intricacy of it, the perfection of it, the possibility of it just being this random thing. This random development is not very probable.
Early next week, Greg Whiteley leaves Austin again for 2 months in Hawaii and Egypt, shooting and lining up new projects in his comfort zone, underwater. Out on the porch, Jim Swift, KXAN News 36, Nightcast.
Go behind the scenes of Lone Star, the latest movie from John Sayles, co-starring Corpus Christi native Chris Christopherson, and pay tribute to the father of the Texas film industry. Why swim with the dolphins when you can swim with the sharks? Meet one Texas filmmaker who did just that and ride the big ones. Coming up next, Deep Hunters from The Sea Within.
What do you get when you mix a Texan, a cause, and some salt water? The answer is drama you don't want to miss. Just ask Austin diver Greg Whiteley, producer of a new 6-part series, The Sea Within.
What instigated us to do the series in the first place is within a short period of time with scuba diving, we saw a very noticeable degradation of the marine environment. So we wanted to do something about it. The obvious solution was to take people underwater. If you could take someone underwater and show them, if they could see the beauty and experience the beauty of the underwater world, the delicate, intricate, interactive life, they would have an awareness that would make it more difficult for them to want to degrade that environment.
The latest installment in this 6-part series is more than just a serene pleasure dive through a coral reef. Whiteley and crew meet sharks, the deep hunters of the sea. Why do a documentary on sharks?
The shark is so important that if all the sharks were removed from the ocean, the food chain as we know it, or the biosphere as we know it underwater, would probably be gone within 10 years.
Whiteley apparently learned about more than just sharks during the filming of Deep Hunters.
The underwater world is a very telepathic world. You sense, you feel the presence of a shark before you ever see it, almost always. The first sharks to show up are usually small, 2 or 3, 4 feet long, and as more and more sharks start to show up, you know, you go, wow, this is just like the Discovery Channel, and then you go, oh man, you know, you become aware of where you are. Many times I've had to beat sharks with the camera. I've gotten on the boat with shark teeth in my fins. And I tell people all the time, swimming with dolphins is really nice, but if you want to learn about yourself, swim with sharks. 50 years ago, Cousteau predicted that going underwater would cause a spiritual change in people. When you go into the ocean, you go right into the food chain. You are right on the menu, and that gives you a certain humility as a species. So it's hard to be species-centric when you're on the menu.